Hello there, Scott Zambelli here with Bardstone Publishing, also part of Team Titans Real Estate. So if you need a realtor, give me a call. 586-549-6096 is that number. Or you can read the number there. That's our team hotline, 586-232-5144. And you can get either Jill Webler or myself. But today we're talking comic books and more specifically, Crimson Shadows. 3 issues are out so far. Our current Kickstarter is for issue 4. And I do want to announce we have the starter pack. We had it as an early bird. I reinstated it because I had enough. I reviewed quantities and I have enough for 6 more early bird packs. So I put that back up. That's live with the early bird special. So if you aren't part of this universe yet, you get issues 1 through 3, as you see here, of the comics, along with our novels, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and Frankenstein, and issue 4, the newest one that comes out pretty soon here. So you get all those together for $60. You end up saving, I forget the amount off the top of my head. I think it's like $27 or something like that by buying it this way. So that's now available again. I reinstated that. 6 though, it's limited to 6, so very limited quantities there. Hey, we got Mike Abdenauer in the house. Hey, thank you. Things are slowly getting better. We had some family issues occur. And thank you, Mike. You've been amazing. And with your support over these last couple of years, honestly, but last 3 months in particular. So thank you for that, Mike. So regarding the Kickstarter, we currently are at $23.30. So we're only $170 away from unlocking our next stretch goal. If you're not familiar with Kickstarter, what's a stretch goal? Stretch goals are, so we have a minimum funding goal that has to be reached. If you hit that goal, the whole project becomes unlocked and the funding will be made available to me, the creator here. If you fall short, none of the money is collected and it goes back. So we hit that minimum goal at $2,000. So with that, we unlock the Bardstone Publishing sticker that we always include in our in all of our Kickstarters when they get funded. Our next goal is at $2,500. So we're just 170 away. All the different covers we have, I have them. I'm doing them as mini prints, 4x6 mini prints. They're on a quality cardstock. It'll automatically be added to all orders of $25 or more. And every $500 that we hit, I'll go down to the full list. I'll cover these shortly. This section I'm passing by. But every $500, we go to the next stretch goal, which is way down here. Shows how many products we have. Here we go. So we've unlocked that sticker. We're about to unlock this mini print here. This is the unlimited edition cover that I did. All the logos are off. At $3,000, the next $500, we have Brett Pinson's homage to Friday the 13th movie poster with our Plague Doctor featured on it. We have that unlocking at $3,000. At $3,500, we have Kevin Meinert's amazingly horrifying this is one of our Plague Doctors who's being defaced in the scene, but you got to get the book to see what happens fully. But he's not having a good day, as you can see there. That's $3,500. $4,000. It's my homage cover to Lee Elias's Chamber of Chills number 19. It was originally published in 1953. It's a classic horror comic book cover. This is our version of it. It's not an exact duplicate, but the thematic tones and the effect of the skull through the wine is what I'm paying homage to there. So that one's available. That's one of our limited covers. And then also our ultra limited cover gets unlocked at $4,500 as a mini print. So all of those get unlocked along the way. And then at $5,000, we'll announce some new goals. I really want to break 5,000 on this one. I think at 5,000, I'll unlock, I'm toying with some different ideas. So we'll see. I won't announce them yet. Let's get to there first. But those are the stretch goals. So If you have an order of $25 or more, not counting shipping, you can potentially get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mini prints put on. Those are typically, usually those sell for about $5 each. So you're going to have $25 in free rewards added to your reward packages of $25 or more. So $50 worth of rewards for $25. You can't beat that. That's a really good deal. But to do that, we need your help. So click on the link in the original post. You click there. See where I just clicked? In this corner here, you can share directly to Facebook, Twitter. You can send via email. Or if you click this little part, you get the link. You just highlight it, say copy. And then you can copy and paste it into wherever you want. So I'm going to put it in our comments here right now. Please share our link. All right. So anyone who's backed the project, we thank you, but you can continue to help by either A, increasing your pledge. You can do additional add-ons and customize your reward. And I'll go through that in a moment. And you can share the link, because the more people that find us, the better. The hardest part about self-promotion as an independent comic book artist is the limitations that are put on us through the algorithms of Facebook and Instagram and all these different things. My reach only goes so far. And the real secret to success is organic reach. And that's where all of you come in. By copying and pasting these links onto your pages, we can break the algorithm so that other people can find it and potentially become backers. The more backers we get, the higher the higher the amount we raise. The more we raise, the more stretch goals I can give for free to you guys. So that's kind of the way it works. So let me just go back to the page here. Okay, so right now, 2330, 42 backers, 17 days to go. But we don't want to wait out the 17 days. The sooner we get everybody involved, that also helps with the algorithms in Kickstarter. The faster we go up, the more they share internally also. So it kind of all feeds each other. So what is Crimson Shadows? These are some samples from the different books on the interiors here. We got issue 1, then issue 2 and issue 3, and then we have some sample pages from issue 4. But long story short, Crimson Shadows is set in late 1800s, specifically 1888, and it's following the Jack the Ripper case with the evidence and historical events and people that were involved in that. We take that and we mix it into our monster world that features characters like Dracula, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Sherlock Holmes, and more. So it's a gothic tale that weaves in a number of historical people, places, events, and dates with well-known creatures and monsters of fiction we know and love. Our main story follows Julius Resnick, who has recently fallen ill and begins to have vivid dreams that perfectly match the crime scenes of the Whitechapel murders. His dreams feel so real, Julius is unsure if he's losing his mind or if he is in fact the notorious Jack the Ripper that is terrorizing the streets of London. Can Julius survive the looming threats of Dracula and Frankenstein along the way to determine the truth while evading a determined Sherlock Holmes who is hot on his trail? In issue 4 of Crimson Shadows, it's a huge, all of our books are big. This is our largest one so far. It's a double-sized issue, 44 full-color pages of horror and suspense. In this issue, we have an ill-stricken Julius teaming up with the inquisitive Sherlock Holmes and Watson after Julius receives an ominous message written in the blood of his wife and daughter. A message that sends Julius on a mission he isn't even sure is real or made up in his own head. Unbeknownst to the traveling trio, a menacing threat is hot on the trail, looking to put an end to Julius. Meanwhile, we'll catch up with Adam Frankenstein and his wife Mary, who have recently escaped the clutches of the diabolical plague doctors. Weak from her ordeal, Adam frantically searches for the one and only man he thinks can save Mary. And last but not least, Dracula learns his one true love has been found by an archaeological team in Greece. Upon learning the news, the infamous vampire embarks on the long journey in haste to be reunited with her. So that gives you the kind of the rundown. There's minor spoilers in that end part. So if you haven't read issues 1 through 3, but they're very minor, so I don't think they'll ruin the excitement that comes with reading this series. One of the things we do that's different with these books too is our versions of our characters. For instance, let me put this large here for a moment. Here's our version of Frankenstein here. Okay. Our version of Frankenstein is based upon the actual novel by Mary Shelley, right here. And that's what you get here with the book. The novel, it's the original Frankenstein, or modern Prometheus, as it's called, that Mary Shelley wrote. The difference is this: the interior chapters is the actual book, and then I do the illustrations at the front of every chapter. However, we included our own original prologue and epilogue at the front and back of the story, and it's narrated by our version of Dracula for both Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And through the narration of Dracula, you learn how it ties into our Crimson universe, which is in these comics. So these comics are the continuation of the original literary works written by Mary Shelley and Robert Louis Stevenson. I have plans to include Phantom of the Opera also, and some others as well. So we're trying to do this in a way to encourage our fans. You know, if they fall in love with these characters, we're hoping you go back to these so you can read the original novels as well, because they are so well done. And Hollywood really, if you think you know Frankenstein and you only know him through the movies, you'll be shocked at the version of Frankenstein that Mary Shelley originally wrote. He's very intelligent. He's very involved with contemplating his own existence and religion, and heaven and hell and demons and angels. And he's very well read, well spoken. And he ends up, one of the things people will often say is, because we've named our monster, Frankenstein's monster, we've named him Adam Frankenstein. And a lot of times people will say, well, the monster didn't have a name, it was Victor Frankenstein. Well, if you read the original novel, he acknowledges Victor as his creator and a form of father, and he takes on his last name. So the monster, or the creation, as he's called in here, takes on the last name Frankenstein. And then because of his readings of the Bible, and he also likes Milton's Paradise Lost. He likes reading that. He names himself Adam after the biblical Adam, who was the first of mankind. Frankenstein views himself as the first of his kind. So he gives himself the first name Adam. So that's why he is called Adam in our novel, because it takes place afterwards. So we are trying to continue the tales of these different characters. There's a lot of real life historical figures. We have down the road, we a nice tie-in we have is the university that Victor Frankenstein goes to, where he learns a lot with science and through a professor. I'm blanking on the name of the university. It should be right around here. Anyways, the actual university that Frankenstein attends, Victor Frankenstein, I should clarify, is the same university the Illuminati were created in. So I'm tying their history and their connection to Frankenstein in future issues. So the Illuminati will be coming in. We also have the plague doctors involved. Plague doctors are an interesting set of people from history, which it's not like an organized group, but in our books, we've made them organized so that they are this particular division of plague doctors are part of a science cult who do all kinds of crazy experiments in the name of science. And with this, as you can see here, we have the Elephant Man, John Merrick. And with this, he was actually around in London at the time. He was in the hospital in England, the Royal London Hospital in Whitechapel, England. He was there during the time of the Jack the Ripper murder. So we were able to tie him in there and bring the plague doctors in. And even like a common misconception is his name was John Merrick, but was actually Joseph. So we've worked that into the bit, and so you see some interaction with the Elephant Man even. So wherever possible, I take historical people from the time who were actually there and present and work them into the story. I also have a number of real life newspaper articles I've been able to pull in and work side stories of the day into the storyline. So I've been very diligent in how I do this. So one of the things I'm going to be putting together down the road, I think for my next Kickstarter, is a book, like a gallery book showing the art of Crimson Shadows, of the Crimson Verse, but also a timeline of what the actual facts are of Crimson Shadows. So you'll be able to see what dates, what events, what evidence, what people, all those things actually happened in real life, and with the source material reference, so you can look it up for yourself. Speaking of which, in real life, they brought Scotland Yard onto the case to find Jack the Ripper. So bringing Scotland Yard into play gave me the perfect opportunity to bring everyone's favorite detective, Sherlock Holmes, onto the case. So we have Sherlock Holmes on the case, and there's with the Jack the Ripper's case, there's a couple of letters that were written by Jack the Ripper and sent in. He was taunting them. And one of them is known as the Dear Boss letter. This is the letter that they sent in to Scotland Yard to help bring them on board. So in doing this, what I have here and over here, I actually found scans of the actual Dear John letter, and I was able to trace over it. So this is actually the Jack the Ripper letter in Jack the Ripper's handwriting. It's my handwriting over it, but I was able to trace the actual letter to get the font and the letters just right to match what Jack the Ripper actually wrote. So I'm constantly doing things like that to try to make this as authentic as possible. And for anybody who's a history buff, I'm hoping, it's a comic book. You can only go so deep versus like a novel where a novel you can have 1,000 pages to really dedicate to nuanced things, whereas a comic book, even these are really thick comic books at 44 pages. My smallest one I think was 30 pages. I've got a couple that are one that 36, one that's 38, and one that's 44. So combined, this is a lot of story if you get the whole starter pack. So very thorough, very deep. And then, like I said, then you got these where you got further stories where it's going to be from Dracula's point of view. He gives little hints of what his unfolding plan is. And it gives you some questions as to whether Dracula is even who he says he is, or is he something more? Well, time will tell. Issues 1 through 4 of Crimson Shadows makes up the first story arc, the first act, I should say, of the main story. I'm going to be roughly 12 issues is the initial story arc. This gets me through the first third of the story. I can't wait till I get the rest out because I really love the twist that happens in this and as it goes on. And I can't wait till I can share that because it's been like on me for so long. But it's a fun story. Everybody, if you haven't dealt with this before, I'm telling you, we have a great return rate from our past Kickstarter fan base, but also at comic book conventions. Very often, opening day, people will come and they'll get the first issue. Okay, they'll buy issue 1 on a Friday or a Saturday, and then they'll go and read it. And then the next morning, they show up and they want to buy the other 2 issues. They can't wait to read the other 2 issues because they're loving the story that much. It's a great universe. We really are. Some people are comparing it kind of to the feel of it with the different monsters and stuff involved. It's very similar to like Penny Dreadful in tone and feel, but the story is very different. We've gone a very different route with the story. And, at the center of the story is our main character, Julius. He's got a wife and daughter. And he's fallen ill, like I said, and he doesn't know if this is happening just in his head, or if he is in fact Jack the Ripper. And the story revolves around him and his search for A, answers and sanity, and B, salvation for himself. You know, if this really is him, what does he do to stop more people from getting hurt, and what does he do to save himself in the process and make things right? So that's the journey of our hero's journey. Our main antagonist is Dracula. Everybody else involved, the other monsters and characters, are integral parts who will come and go. Some of them will be more permanent. Some will come and go in passing. And should we do well enough in these books, I have a number of side stories, all of these different monsters and stuff. I want to branch off into additional stories and tell their tale further, beyond Julius's tale. But Crimson Shadows right now is the main vehicle for telling those stories. But the hope is definitely to branch these off into a number of other stories within our Monsterverse that we have going on. So I you know, as time goes on, you know, after we get past the Jack the Ripper, I have a storyline down the road as it evolves that takes us onto the Titanic and gets them over into America. And then we get people like Nikolai Tesla involved and other things too. So it's just such a fascinating period. There's so many really cool characters we can get involved. And that's really my hope, is to tie in so many of these people from that time period. So try and see if there's something else I should highlight real quick before I get off. I told you the summary. Oh, the covers. So you might be asking, you know, you have all these covers. Are they the same issue? So if you're not familiar with Kickstarters, one of the things people really like is to collect what's called variant covers. The internal issue will be the same, right? For like issue 1, they're all the same, but we had like 5 or 6 different covers. Issue 2, same thing. Set 3, same thing. And 6 is no different. We have 6 covers here for issue 4. All of them have the same interiors, but for people who really like to collect those books and collect the different covers, we have those for you. And I'm going to share it with a second here. Become a backer. I'm sharing the link again here, just so if people are joining us now, you can see the link. All right, the link should be posting soon. Okay, so these are the 6 covers. I'm going to highlight them. We have here in the upper right our unlimited edition. Those ones we reserve to the right. If we ever do reprints or anything like that, we'll reuse this cover on future reprints. But then we have our limited editions. These ones we will not reprint as covers. The only way they would appear again would be like if we did an art book, an art gallery book, and on the inside we reprinted all the covers. So as a collection within the art gallery book, that might appear there. But we will never print it as a cover again after this as a standalone issue type. If we do a trade, we might do specials that way, but it won't be for this specific issue. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So unlimited edition, we can, if we do a second print run of Crimson Shadows 4, this would be the cover once again. We also have the ultra limited edition. This one, the minimum print run will be 50, but if we sell more than 50 on the Kickstarter platform here, we will do whatever the print run is. So if we sell 75, it'll be 75. But if we end up selling less than 50, we will print 50 and stop it there. Whatever that number ends up, it'll be printed on the cover. So it'll be like issue 1 of 50, 2 of 50, 3 of 50. So there's serialized numbers on the cover. This will be printed on a metal cover. They're really cool. These tend to sell out. Issue 1 for our metal covers, I think I have 1, maybe 2 left. Issue 2 is getting really low. Issue 3, that's the newest one. I think I have 8 left. So they do sell out. We're almost out of all those. Then we have our limited edition covers. The minimum print run of these are going to be 75 for the limited editions. Once again, if we happen to sell 100, then the minimum print run will be 100. But 75 will be the ultimate, the smallest print run. Also, the serialized numbers will be printed on the cover, so you'll know exactly what print number it is. This here is by Kevin Miner. He's our inker for the series. And it features a pretty dramatic scene at the center of our interior artworks. This is the just before shot. And then we have our homage cover by me that I spoke of earlier, Lee Elias's Chamber of Chills number 19. This is our homage to him, limited to a minimum of 75 or whatever we sell in the Kickstarter, whichever is greater. Also serialized. Then we got Brett's cover, serialized minimum of 75 or whatever we sell on Kickstarter, whichever is greater. And then we have this one here. This is going to be a foil edition. This one's going to be limited to 50 or whatever we sell. This is a grayscale version of Kevin's cover, but the red, the blood spatter, and the red and the crimson on Crimson Shadows logo are going to be in red metallic foil. So it'll give it a nice pop and look really, really cool. So those are our 6 covers there. If you want all of them, we have a way of getting all 6. We have a package that includes all 6 together. Then we have these super rare. These are for the ultimate collectors. There's only 5 of these available, 1 of each. These are 1 of 1 print runs. They're printed on a gold metallic, gold monochromatic metal cover. And the Ultra Edition and the Homage edition have already sold. So that only leaves 3 left. These are $99 each. And like I said, 1 of 1. It'll be printed right on the cover, 1 of 1. So never to be printed as the gold covers ever again. So these are for the hyper rare collector. Can't get more rare than 1 of 1. Reward packages. Reward packages are what you see on the side here. So when you first sign in along this side, you scroll down, you have all the different reward packages. So if you just want the digital cover for $5, you can do that. If you just want the unlimited edition and the digital combined, that's $12. The limited editions are $20, but what you get with these, because a lot of times people get the limited editions as collector pieces, and they don't want to open them up to read them. So what I do is you get the limited edition, but you also get the unlimited edition thrown in. So if you want a copy to read, and you get a digital edition. So you get 3 copies here. Same with these covers. You got Kevin's and Brett's covers, and each one comes with the unlimited edition and digital. Foil cover, same. Ultra cover is the same. That way, if you don't want to open it, you don't have to. Here's the all 6. You get all 6 covers for $100. This is going to save you $27 from buying each thing individually. So this saves you a good amount of money doing it that way. If you own a comic book shop or you just want your own custom cover, $1,000, you get 100 copies of the cover of your choice. How do I phrase it? A custom cover. Part of this cost, I will, for no added charge, I will do the artwork and create a new cover for you. We also put your company's logo on there, so whatever your comic book shop is. And we serialize it to say, that it's a 100 print run or whatever. For an added charge, you can upgrade the cover. You can also increase the number of prints you get. So and that's just at cost. So whatever you want for the added, I get the quote from the publisher, and whatever that is, it's a direct cost transfer. I don't charge extra. But you also have the choice. If you don't want to use me as your artist, you can use any artist you want. If you want to do the artwork yourself, you can do so. If you want to hire somebody else to do the cover art, I will coordinate with them. That doesn't change the cost. It's $1,000. You get the 100 copies and sent to you with your logo and everything else on it. So for me, it's no added charge. Then we get into what's called the add-ons. Add-ons, if you're not familiar with Kickstarter, are where you first order from the rewards, which is this right-hand column. You pick a reward package. That's everything we just went through here. These are all the different reward reward packages. Then after you get done with that, you get to the checkout screen. Underneath at the bottom, you will see all of these additional options. And all of these are available through your add-on. So if you want to throw in Crimson Shadows #1, you could do that. Crimson Shadows 2. I also want to point out, I have a sale going on issue 2's limited edition covers and issue 3's limited editions. These are normally 15. I marked them down to 10 because for those of you who got in on the action earlier and you might have just got the unlimited editions, I want to encourage you to pick up extra copies of the limited editions for your collection. So I knocked down the price as a special enticement here. Same here. You save $5 for every issue that you add here. So we got some great covers here. Mike Vasquez, Josh Perez, Brett Pinson, mine, Kevin Meinertz. The Ultra Metal here, that one's $35. That one has only a few left. Then if you want extra copies, you want 10 extra unlimited editions for Crimson Shadows #4 to give out as gifts, add them on here. Same with the limiteds. You can do that with those. We have some other series, Wretched Realms. This is a series that features, it's an anthology series, so every story doesn't connect to the one before. But our bounty hunter that makes an appearance in issue 4 of Crimson Shadows, he's the bounty hunter. This is his younger years in the Wretched Realms series here. So his first appearance ever is in Wretched Realms #1. We got some custom covers there as well. And these I put on sale. So for those of you who've bought past issues and you want to stock up for collectibles, these are knocked way down from $15 to $8. So really helping out there. I also did a series, Legion of Justice. I was the colorist for. This is for HB Comics. I have a limited supply of copies available, so I put those on here too. So if you want to grab those, this is Legion of Justice #1. It's a fun book, and I recommend it. Then if you want to add on extra copies of the novels, we have hardcover and soft covers. We have trading card sets. We have enamel pins. We have vinyl stickers. Then we have Edgar Allan Poe books, and we have some pins of those, some books of those, very limited quantities, and then our stretch goals, which I already covered. So that's everything in a nutshell there. Let me refresh the screen here just so we have current data. So we're at $23.30. Like I said, $170 away from unlocking more stretch goals. So please check it out. Give it a look. I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed with the series. If you have a horror fan in your life, buy these up, and these will be great gifts to give out. So very collectible, and I posted the links. I got in the original post, so you know where to find me, guys. If you have any questions, message me. And as always, you guys take care. I'm going to send us out with the video advertisement. So take care, guys.